Hello, friends. Welcome back. We're playing Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Trials and Tribulations, and we are on the last case, Bridge to the Turnabout, in some investigation here. And last time we ended on a bit of an exciting bit, I guess. Earthquakes and, general panic. We've got Iris standing in front of the cell, and we have like 5 locks on the cell now. There used to be just one. It's a whole thing. We're gonna figure out what's going on, hopefully, soon. Yeah. All right. Let's see how we go here. So there's our 5 locks. So I think it's just picking up right where we left off last time. Right. Is this what Godot was talking about? Yeah, the trick locks. Now then, Iris, please remove these at once. Oh, Mr. Edgeworth, I'm afraid I can't. It's not possible for me. What? During the earthquake, when the cavern was in danger of caving in, Iris escaped. And I know that there was only one lock when I last came here. Oh, thanks for recapping that for us, Phoenix. So you're saying that you can't undo the new locks? Yes. If only I was stronger. Edgeworth, how are you feeling? You look a little pale in the face. Like you're one to talk with your face all green. Miles Edgeworth, go and get some air. I'll watch over the suspect. You go and get a grip on yourself. Don't be ridiculous. I'm perfectly fine. There's no telling what sort of mistakes you could make in your current state. Go and get some rest. That's your only concern now, Miles Edgeworth. Understood. I'll handle the investigation in the garden. You take care of things here. Aw, Francisca's just looking out for her brother. Edgeworth. He's got so much pride that he's probably off crying in a corner of the garden. Pride is simply another trap that hinders us in our lives. That said, one must have pride to be effective on the job. At any rate, it seems that this is where we part ways, Phoenix Wright. I'm going to stay here and see if I can't help solve these bothersome puzzles. I see. Well, thanks for your help. Now then, do you mind if I ask you a few things, Iris? No, not at all. Cool. So, why did you make a run for it, Iris? I'm sorry. I heard the inner temple had been severely shaken by the strong earthquake we had. I was so worried. I just had to come and see. In other words, you didn't run away to escape the law. At least we're clear on that. I can't tell you how relieved I was when I saw the sacred cavern was all right, but... But what? Then I saw these chains here. I saw all these extra locks that someone had put on the sacred cavern's door, and... Who in the world would have done something like this? These trick locks are a sacred treasure of the Curian tradition. There are hundreds of ways to set them, and that's why only the person who set the lock can open it. And you aren't the one who set these locks? I don't think it's that simple, Francisca von Karma. I love how he's calling her by her full name, just as a reply to what she always does. When we were here the first time, there was only one lock. But now, somehow, there's 5 of them. What does that mean? It means that someone wanted to secure the place even more. And they wanted to secure it before you got here, Iris. Presumably because they wanted to make sure Maya couldn't get out. This means that Iris can only open one of these locks, the first one. Yes, that's correct. What? Iris, try to think, please. Isn't there any way around this? Like cutting the chains or something. Like I said, there are hundreds of different ways to set these locks. And I suppose if I went through every combination with each one, I could remove them. But it will take time, won't it? Yes, about a day, if I had to guess. A whole day? Well, that's better than leaving the locks in place. Will you do this for us? Sure, I'll do whatever I can. We've got to wait another day? Yeah, reminder, Maya is still back there. In case you've forgotten about that. Hang in there, Maya. You're going to have to call on your inner strength now. You know what, Iris? There's still one thing I don't quite get. And what might that be, Phoenix Wright? I think it's obvious. Iris, on the night of the murder, where were you? Please, Iris, don't give me that look. You told us that you were in your room at Hazakura Temple at the time of the incident. But you were seen that same evening at the Inner Temple. And then you were spotted at the scene of the crime in Hazakura Temple, too. Being spotted at both Hazakura Temple and the Inner Temple, it's as if you were... Well, Iris, I think it's about time you told us the truth. I knew it. There's something going on here that we don't know about. Okay. Do we need to present anything? Maybe her hood? Because that was a big thing. Ow! Okay, so the locks are more important. Fine. What about the... Yeah, no, she's not gonna... Okay. Alright, fine. Deal with the locks. That's fine. By all means. Whoops. This door. When I was here earlier, there was only one lock, but now there's 5 of them. Those chains, it's almost as if they're guarding something inside that cavern. I've never seen locks quite like these before. I have. I've seen locks and chains just like these before. They look just like the ones that guard a person's secrets during a psyche lock. I wonder if these locks are guarding something too. Dark secrets in a dark cavern. I guess we just have to move on then. Let's go see Edgeworth. The cops are still combing the place. They look pretty nervous. I'd be nervous too. It's got to be a tough job. Especially with someone giving you the evil eye the whole time. How could I have done that? Wow, I can't believe it's still bothering him. Edgeworth? Ah! Hey! Don't you dare run away! What do you want, right? What do I want? If you came here to laugh at me, then get on with it. Go on, laugh away. I was ready to hug it out with him, but he's just the same prideful Edgeworth. You went back to the Criminal Affairs Department, right? You said you wanted to look into something concerning Iris? Yes. And thanks to what I found, I was reminded of something terrible. Ooh, do tell. Although I think we already have an idea. You guys are putting a lot of effort into the investigation of the garden here, huh? There's a high chance this is the actual scene of the crime. That's why. You mean because of the writing in blood and the talisman in the snow? Exactly. As you know, those things couldn't have been planted here after the murder. But surely you don't suspect Maya, do you? We have to treat everyone as a suspect. Maya as well as Iris. It's our job, right? Your job, maybe. So, I guess you still haven't gotten over your fear of earthquakes. No, thankfully my nightmares have stopped. But still, if the ground gives even the slightest tremor, I find myself short of breath. 17 years ago, when we were little school kids at the same elementary school, Edgeworth found himself in the middle of a murder. all started with that big quake that hit the courthouse. We're gonna do a full recap here? Yep. Yes, I was stuck in the elevator with my father, who was a defense lawyer. We were deprived of oxygen and we passed out. That's when it happened. That single gunshot shattered my whole life. I lost everything that day, all because of that earthquake. My dreams, my family, and myself. It's been more than 17 years now. And that case was finally resolved 3 years ago, right? You think I don't know that? I was there. But it was such a shock, I never imagined I could be so wrong about myself and my life. I'm sorry, Wright. There's nothing else I can say. Not after you chose to become a lawyer for my sake, and not after you saved me. Edgeworth, you're stronger than you think, so no more of this self-pity, okay? It's either self-pity or pride with him. There's no in-between. So, there was something that bothered me about her from the moment we met. I felt like I'd seen her somewhere before. No, wait. Not somewhere. I felt like I'd seen her in court before. So you went back to the Criminal Affairs Department to look for her file? Yes, I checked over every case file I've ever worked on. And I was right. I'd seen her face before 6 years ago. 6 years ago. It was my first appearance in court. And as cases go, it was my worst nightmare. So, who is she? Oh, Phoenix, you know what he's going to say. I don't know why you're acting so out of the loop. I'm sorry, Wright. I can't give that information away to a member of the general public. What? Why not? It might be the crucial piece of the puzzle that solved this case. The woman I knew was the daughter of a jewelry store owner. She had nothing to do with Iris and Hazakura Temple. And neither did the case. No, that woman is completely unrelated to this murder. Unrelated. Yes, I can say that with a complete confidence. You're wrong, Edgeworth. She's totally related to this case. I need to fill Edgeworth in. I need to explain the connection between Iris and the woman Edgeworth knew. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. You know. So, what do I do? Present a profile? What did it say? I need to find the connection? Oh, wait, no. Hold on. It does want me to present something, right? But I don't really know how. Unless it's the fact that, of where we are. It's not the fact of where we are. What exactly... Apparently, Iris was taken in by the sisters here at the temple when she was a child. However, we still don't know much about her past, so we're looking into it. Reminds me, Edgeworth went back to the Criminal Affairs Department to look up some stuff on her. Should ask what he found. Yeah, no kidding, but he won't tell me. I need to show that they're connected. How do I show that they're connected? Mia? Because he was up against Mia? One of the biggest names in the world of law, as I'm sure you'll agree. For better or for worse, we were only destined to meet once in the courtroom. I know, I read all about it. It was the first time for the both of us, two novices head to head. I can still remember how downhearted I felt after that trial ended the way that it did. I wonder if Mia felt the same way too. Gah! Yeah, I got nothing. I don't know how to prove it. Torches. Oh wait, you can get up here. According to detective, they're lit on the night of murder. Apparently they don't light these torches for training sessions. Huh? I heard that too much light isn't conducive to spiritual training. Didn't know that. Okay. Weird. Well. I got nothing. Maybe I'll find some information elsewhere. Finally getting to the bottom of this case. I can count on Iris to break those locks, so I should try to gather more clues. From Sister Bikini, Edgeworth, Gumshoe, and Pearls. Okay. And Larry. There's also Larry. Don't I have psyche locks on Larry? It's weird that there's no one around all of a sudden. Sure gets quiet up here in the mountains when you're all on your own. Speaking of alone, I guess I should go check out the shack just down this path. Maybe I'll find Larry there sulking again. I love how you said, speaking of alone. Poor Larry. Oh, Mr. Nick! Pearls, what are you doing here? Nothing. What about Miss Maya? Is she alright? Well, we don't know yet. Oh, I see. Hey! What do you think you're doing here, Nick? Larry? This is the loser shack, where the losers get together to lose themselves. This is the what? Hey, we find comfort in each other's failures, okay? You got a problem with that? Look, Mr. Nick, Mr. Larice did a picture of me. That's, great, Pearls. We're going to gather firewood now. We'll be cooking some half-rotten potatoes over a miserable little campfire, so stay out of our way. I don't believe this. Why can't he try getting fired up over becoming a better man? No one believes a word I say anymore. Listen to me, Pearl. You don't want to trust this kind of guy, okay? He'll only let you down. Mystic Maya. Larry, is there something you want to tell me about this picture? I got nothing to say to you, Nick. My life's here now with Pearl. Two losers cooking potatoes together forevermore. What am I going to do with him? Alright then. What do you think about this picture, Pearls? I think it's really well drawn. I can't draw at all, so I think it's really amazing. See? Someone appreciates it. It's tough getting the flames to look like that, you know. It's supposed to be Sister Iris flying through the air, isn't it? I love it. It's like a dream. A wonderful fantasy. No, it wasn't a dream. She really flew, I'm telling you. Iris really flew that night. But Mr. Larice... Not you too. Please don't look at me like that, Pearl. Don't look at me like I'm some kind of nutcase, I beg of you. I guess this picture really is a representation of what Larry thinks he saw. Okay, so I was half asleep when I was here that night. But I was wide awake after the lightning struck, and I saw what I saw. It was exactly like I drew in the picture. And it looks like I don't have any choice but to take this sketch at face value. Hey, what's with the look of doubt on your face? Pearls. Yes, Mr. Nick? I've been meaning to ask you about the night of the murder. Where were you, and what exactly were you doing when it all happened? I was just, well, I'm just a kid, you know? I'm sure it doesn't really matter what I was doing. Does it, Mr. Nick? Sorry, Pearls, but yes, it does. On the night of the murder, you were supposed to be in Miss Donim's room, reading a book together. But Miss Donim was murdered. Wait, have I been pronouncing it wrong? Donim? Yeah, that's how I've been pronouncing it. For some reason, I totally blanked there. Again, it's been a while since I played the last part. Donim. But Miss Donim was murdered, and you, Pearls, were at the Inner Temple. Just what exactly happened that night, Pearls? I'm really sorry, Mr. Nick. Whoa! I've been a bad girl. I know I'll be punished. What are you talking about, Pearls? My spiritual power. It's disappeared. What? Her powers have disappeared? What do you mean your power has disappeared, Pearls? It's all over for me. A spirit medium who can't channel spirits is like a painter who can't paint. Hey! What are you looking at me for? Pearls, did you try to channel someone's spirit right here at Hazakura Temple? Tried but failed, perhaps. Way to go, Nick! You made her cry! That was really cruel of you! Just as I thought. I'm going to have to break her psyche lock to get the truth out of her. Okay. Cool. I don't think I have any of the information for it, though. So let's move along, shall we? To the main gate? Because I still have to talk to Bikini and... who else? Gumshoe. I wonder if Sister Bikini has gone back to the main hall already. I haven't seen Gumshoe around for a while either. Maybe they're having a cup of tea together somewhere. Bet Gumshoe is Sister Bikini's type. Oh, hi. Why are you shaking? You look really panicked. Well, what's the damage? How is the Sacred Cavern? Looks like it survived, but we have a bigger problem now. I told Sister Bikini all about it. About the 5 locks that were stopping us from getting inside the Sacred Cavern. I can't remember, was the single lock there... The single lock was there after... Like, it wasn't like the 5 locks appeared after the murder, or during the murder, or before the murder, or whatever. It was a single lock when we came across the bridge, and then we went to get Iris to open it, and then there were 5. So it's weird. But who could have done that? The only people who know how to set those strict locks are those of the Curain tradition. We have Iris at the Sacred Cavern trying her best to open them for us right now. Actually, there's something I've been meaning to talk with you about, Sister Bikini. Oh yes, we were in the middle of a chat, weren't we? Yes, you were telling me how the Master of Curain disappeared 17 years ago. I want to know why Misty Faye suddenly appeared at this temple. It was about a week ago when Mystic Elise, Mystic Misty, arrived. After she showed me the talisman that proved she was the Master, she said, "Someone is trying to destroy the Curain tradition's main family line. I am here to put a stop to them." I continued in Bikini's voice because I don't remember how I did Misty's voice. Someone was trying to destroy the main family line. There's only one heir to the title Master at any time, and it's usually the eldest. That child becomes the new Master of Curain, and her daughters the main family. All other mediums become branch family members with no hope of controlling the clan. That's why nothing has changed throughout the history of the clan. Branch families always have and always will plot to erase those of the main family line. Is the power of the Master worth this much bloodshed? You believe in the technique, don't you, Mr. Wright? You know its power's real? Yes, I do. It's been 3 years since I first met Maya. In that time, I've seen her channel the spirits of the dead plenty of times. During the Mask to Mask case, And during Maggie Bird's trial, too. As well as 2 other games previous. Thanks to Maya, Mia's always on hand to help me out when I need her most. The Curane technique has made a huge difference to the world, you know. I mean, the ability to communicate with the dead, that's true psychic power, you know. Members of the tradition have always been there behind every important leader. Who wouldn't respect such a tremendous skill? I suppose so, but with all that power and influence, I kind of expected you to be really rich by now. Are you saying we're poor, Mr. Wright? You're very direct, aren't you? People don't believe in it anymore, you see. All because of one little mistake. Mistake? What mistake? It was 17 years ago. That's when everything came crashing down. All because of that incident. Yeah, that incident. She's talking about what I think she is. Yes, she is. I'm sure the record still exists if you're interested. Locked up, of course. It was called the DL6 incident. That's the name of the file. The DL6 incident, huh? Here we go. Come full circle now. The DL6 incident. I know it well. I handled a related case just 3 years ago. Ah, that's right. So it was you who was the defense attorney in that case. A murder that took place 17 years ago. It was the first time in the country's history the police ever used a spirit medium. The idea was to channel the victim's spirit to learn the identity of the murderer. And the medium who performed the channeling was Misty Fey, Maya's mother. Through Mystic Misty's channeling, the name of a certain man surfaced. Armed with that as evidence, the investigators were spurred into action. But that man, he was found not guilty, wasn't he? That's right, he was. And the case remained a mystery. In other words, we failed. It was the first case the world had ever seen the Curane tradition openly involved in. It was all over the media, the public, the judiciary, the people of Curane Village. Everyone judged her. Everyone said Mystic Misty's powers were a sham. And then she just disappeared, vanished, while everyone still thought of her as a fraud. But I know the truth. Misty Fey's spirit channeling wasn't a sham at all. Of course it wasn't, and since you managed to reveal the truth, we're finally making a comeback. The Curane tradition is starting to recover at last. But with a new master wielding the power of the clan... Does she mean Maya? The spiritual power of the Curane channeling technique is in the blood. Maya told me the exact same thing before. We, the women of the Fey family, have always been spirit mediums. It's because the power to communicate with spirits flows strongly through us. According to Maya, only the women in the family can inherit that power. The main family's bloodline stems directly from Mystic Amy, but with each new generation, only one daughter becomes the new master, and the ones who don't become branch families. Oh, sorry, that was Phoenix. And the ones who don't become branch families, right? That's right. And it's always the cause for tragedy. You know, Maya had a sister, too. An older sister named Mia. Oh, yes, I've heard of her. What? You know about Mia? Of course! She became a lawyer in the hopes of discovering what happened to her mother. And lost her life. As a result. Do you know what Mystic Mia is rumored to have said? She said it wasn't only because her mother that she became a lawyer. She also didn't want to fight with her sister over the leadership of the tradition. Really? Well, she saw what happened to her own mother, Mystic Misty, as she grew up. I guess Mystic Mia got tired of seeing all the rivalry between her mom and her aunt. That's right, Misty Fey had an elder sister, too. And Misty, having superior powers, managed to usurp the master's seat from her. Mystic Misty's sister is Mystic Morgan, as you probably know. Yep. Morgan? There's a name I know well. It was a year ago now in Maya's home, Curane Village. That is one looming shadow. What she did was terrible. It was all so that she could make her own daughter the next master. I suppose if you know about Mystic Morgan's daughter, then you must have already realized that Iris... Huh? Iris? What's Iris got to do with any of this? That Iris is Mystic Morgan's daughter. Iris is what? Is she kidding me? Iris is Morgan Fay's daughter? Did you just say that Iris is Morgan Fay's daughter? Oops, I thought you already knew. It sounded like you'd met one of the Mystic Morgan's daughters already. I have. I know her very well. Oh? Yes, Pearl Fay. But I always thought she was an only child. You jest! That child, she's Mystic Morgan's. I had no idea. Mystic Morgan. But she's in prison now, isn't she? Yes, ever since she was found to be a co-conspirator to a murder case last year. It was all done to set Pearls up as the next master. I see. So I've been wrong all this time. Mystic Morgan had 3 daughters, not 2. What? 3? Yes, Iris, her twin sister, and Mystic Pearl. What? Twin sister. Oh, didn't you know? It all happened 20 years ago. After the clan leadership was taken from her by her sister, Mystic Morgan's life crumbled. It wasn't many years later that Hurane's reputation hit an all-time low. When Mystic Morgan's husband realized his wife would never become the master, he left her in the village, taking their twin daughters with him. How awful. He was a jeweler, you know. In the end, he remarried, and that's when it happened. He decided to give one of his girls up, to be looked after by us here at the temple. That was Iris, you see. It's unbelievable. If Iris had a twin sister, could it be? Could you tell me one more thing, Sister Bikini? What was the name of Iris's sister? I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I just can't remember. All I can recall is that her father was a jeweler. Well, that's a clue, I guess. A jeweler. Thank you very much. You've helped clear up a lot of details. Pearls had 2 older sisters, huh? Yes, that's right. No doubt it was all because of Mystic Morgan's anger toward the main family. Anger? What do you mean? Her twin daughters were taken from her by her jeweler husband. But even that couldn't destroy her dream that a child of hers would one day lead the clan. That's why she had pearls. It seems that the incident here was a result of Mystic Morgan's anger. I was about to break free of the bars that confine her. It was able to break free of the bars that confine her. So Iris has a twin sister. The plot thickens. But this information will be useless unless I can flesh it out a bit. I need to ask more questions and get some more info. Okay. I believe that is what I needed. Yeah. So, with that information received, I can go talk to Edgeworth. In the garden. Wait, did I already look at this? I think I did. Something strange about this incinerator. Sure, there's no one at the first time I saw it. And the door's open. Someone's been burning something. Cool. That's gonna be important. I'm sure. It always is. Incinerators are always important in these games. I think there was one in the first game in the Steel Samurai case, I believe. And then there was the one in Curien Village. Hey, Edgeworth. Hey, that's exactly what I said. Hey, Edgeworth. Did you know that Iris had a twin sister? What? A twin? You can't be serious. Sister Bikini told me, but the problem is she didn't know the name of this twin. There was nothing about Iris having a sister in the files I checked. Well, Iris was taken in by the temple when she was really young. Apparently her sister was raised by her father. A jeweler, I think. Jeweler. Right, I might just know who this twin sister of hers is. I had a feeling you'd say that. Let me guess. Her name is Dahlia Hawthorne, right? Yes, exactly. Please tell me what you know about her, Edgeworth. Please. It was my first court case, 6 years ago. I was a greenhorn, and due to my inexperience, the defendant died. You're talking about Terry Falls, right? You know about that case. You're not the only one who noticed something about Iris and Dahlia Hawthorne. I checked one of Mia's old files from 6 years ago. Yes, Dahlia was a key witness in that case. Dahlia and Terry Falls wow. I will try to read better. Dahlia and Terry Falls conspired together to stage a fake kidnapping 11 years ago. I don't know why that sentence was so hard for me to read. I am sorry. They stole a jewel worth $2 million from Dahlia's father, a jeweler. Yeah. And 5 years after that, she murdered her own sister, Valerie Hawthorne, to keep her from talking. Her sister. Well, her stepsister, actually. They weren't blood related. Valerie was the only daughter of Dahlia's father's second wife. His father's second wife, okay. Oh. And this is when she entered my life. The woman who tried to kill me. So after Terry Falls died, what happened to Dahlia? Did you check that out? There's no need. Like I said, Dahlia isn't connected with this case. Why are you so sure about that? It's simple. Dahlia Hawthorne is dead. What? Well, her metabolic processes are a matter of interest only to historians, so to speak. What do you mean by Dahlia Hawthorne is dead, Edgeworth? I only just discovered this, right? But I never knew about the murder case you were involved in during your college years. Dahlia Hawthorne was found guilty, thanks to the persistence of Mia Fey. Oh, that sprite is so creepy. Creepier than that one. At the time, Dahlia, it's like she was possessed by a demon or something. It's been 6 years since that guilty verdict was handed down, and her sentence was finally carried out. She was executed last month. Executed? Wow, that's really recent. I'm sure that's a bit of a shock for you, right? And for more reasons than one. But do you understand now? She can't possibly be connected with this case. She's dead, and when someone is dead, there's no way to revive them. There's no way to revive the dead. I wonder. Seems you're not aware of the other connection yet, Edgeworth? And what is that? It's about Iris and Dahlia Hawthorne's mother. What's their mother got to do with any of this? She's Morgan Fey, a spirit medium from a branch family of the Curane channeling technique. Did you say Curane channeling technique? Do you know something about it? Oh, yes. I know it's connected with that fraudulent spirit medium. Fraudulent? I was involved in another nightmare 17 years ago. I was caught up in the middle of a murder investigation. The police didn't have any leads. They were stumped, and that's when they called her in. She's a very famous spirit medium and the master of her channeling school. But you know what happened? As a result of her efforts, an innocent man was accused of murder. She and her powers, they were all fraudulent. Edgeworth, Go to the police records room. It's all in there. All you have to do is check the DL6 incident case file and you'll know. Of course, how could I forget? Edgeworth was the victim in that case. Edgeworth, you'll understand someday. And then you'll see that the Curane channeling technique is real. Alright, I think we're done with him. Just making sure we don't have anything else to do here. Yeah, no, she's just gonna chill here. Cool. Cool. Moving right along. Can I go... Whoops. Well, I guess I could go here because Gumshoe might be here. Sounds like someone's happy. What tune is that they're humming? Oh, I forgot he sings here! No motive, no crime. No motive, no crime. Sing it with me! No motive, no crime. I remember when we used to search in the channeling room in Curane. I'm going along with the background music. I do not remember this background music being along with this. I love my job! Who cares if the clues I find are no good? That's not what investigating's all about. The investigator investigates for the love of investigating. It's a passion. Good cases we have, good cases we've lost along the way. I would have never guessed that Gumshoe was into reggae. It's good to... Never mind, I'm not even... Hear it as you will. Every case is gonna be airtight. Every case is gonna be airtight. Hey, pal. Huh? Who, me? How long have you been there? I just got here. Oh, okay. So what are you up to, detective? I'm investigating, pal. I made a promise to Mr. Edgeworth. I promised I would find the real murder weapon. The real murder weapon. That barbed sword thing turned out to be a false lead, right? I'm giving it my best shot here, but I still haven't turned up any clues. I just found these weird scraps of paper. It looks like a letter or something. It doesn't seem to have anything to do with the case, though. A letter? Please give me that letter. I know exactly what you're talking about. Give it to me, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. So how's the investigation going, Detective Gumshoe? I don't know if I should be telling you, pal. But I guess it can't hurt. Looks like the murder took place in the Inner Temple Garden. Right? And they're taking that bloody writing in the lantern pretty seriously back in the HQ. You mean... I don't have the details, pal. All I know is, if you don't find Maya down in that sacred cavern, we're gonna be faced with an ugly situation. What kind of ugly situation are we looking at here? You got me, I don't know. They're not my words, pal. Then who said it? Mr. Godot. Godot? What did he mean by that? Give me the letter, give me the letter, give me the letter. About that letter you found. Don't remind me, pal. I'm busting my gut here trying to find the murder weapon. And all I find is some burnt-up old letter. Burnt-up old letter? Yeah, it was in that incinerator right outside the Inner Temple. The incinerator? I knew it. I knew I wasn't imagining it. The incinerator is always important. There was snow on the incinerator when I first saw it. But after the incident, the snow had melted away. Which means someone used the incinerator on the night of the murder. What's up with you, pal? I got it right here if you want to take a look. Can I? Do you mind? Sure, go nuts. I don't want it, pal. You can have it. It's all spirit mediums and masters and stuff. I bet it's got no relation to the case. Spirit mediums and masters? I think that might have something to do with the case. It's gotta be important if it mentions spirit mediums and masters. Be careful, once night falls, should be there as soon as you hear the lights out bell, and you must channel her spirit. Leave everything up to her. Her name is, she is our ally, the whole. Here is a picture of her. Use it when you channel her. I know you can do it. Once this is, burn the also make not tell anyone about this letter, gravely roast the master in the fires of Hades, and bring our vengeance to fruition. You better give it a good looking over and some serious thought. I'll let you guys simmer on that, too. Make sure you check it in the trash when you're done. Littering's a crime, pal. Sure, let's talk about the murder weapon. So what do you know about the real murder weapon so far? Well, it wasn't the... Oh man, I thought he was going to give up saying it because he said barbed sword before. I'm going to just call it the barbed sword now. Well, it wasn't the barbed sword that was found impaled in the victim's body. Mr. Edgeworth proved that in court today. Yes, that's true. In which case, it must have been another blade. And that's what you're running around like a headless chicken looking for now, huh? Yeah, and man, is it tiring work. But let me tell you something, pal. I'm no chicken. We've got the feather of forensics in our cap these days. We're using the department's secret weapon on this. Secret weapon? What's the secret weapon of yours? I believe in the first game he called Missile his secret weapon. Is it Missile? Missile come back? You wanna know? You've got to think scientifically, okay? Alright. The murder weapon was a sword. Swords are, scientifically speaking, made of metal, right? Oh my gosh, he's got his metal detector out. Any questions so far? No. I know what he's gonna say, but I'll let him look smart. So what's the perfect tool for the job? Ta-da! A metal detector! Raise your hand if you didn't see this coming from a mile away. Well, you want to give scientific investigation a go? Me? I've been using this thing for hours now. It gets pretty boring after a while. Why don't you give it a try? I don't know. Should I help Detective Gumshoe out or not? Play forensics expert. Come on, pal. It's good fun, I'm telling you. Alright then, I guess I'll give it a go. Like I said, this is the department's most advanced gadget. The absolute best. It's so sensitive you can make it cry. It's so high-tech you could skydive off of it. Oh, bother. So, now I gotta tell you how to use it. It's possible the real murder weapon is around here somewhere, right? Sure, that's what we're trying to find out. Right, so first, let's turn the detector on. That's the sound of metal detector signal bouncing off something metallic. Next, touch the detector and take a real good look around this courtyard with it, pal. Once you've hit something metallic, check gauge will flash. And when that happens, touch it to give it a good hard stare. Okay. This thing picks up metallic objects that are hidden from sight, too. Take a good look at anything and everything that seems suspicious, okay, pal? Sure, let's do it. That is a ladder, so it's metal. Look, a ladder! That's a step ladder. Yes! I was waiting. I kept investigating and the ladders for all of the throwbacks to the step ladder and ladder discussion. It's always throughout the whole series. What's the difference? Looks like a normal ladder to me, pal. Surely everyone knows the difference. I mean, they're pretty ordinary objects. I met plenty of guys like you, always picking on the smallest details. The vegetable store guy near my place does it all the time. He even corrects me when I ask for a head of lettuce. That's a cabbage, he says. I'm telling you, they're the exact same thing. Okay, well, in that case, no. No, they're not. They're completely different. You have to plant both of them firmly in the ground before they can grow, don't you? What? Listen, you gotta take a step back and look at the bigger picture sometimes. Otherwise, you could miss a really important clue. That's advice from a pro, pal. The last person I need advice from is this guy in front of me. Oh boy. Yeah, that statue's definitely made of metal. That's not suspicious. I think I'm going to just click on the suspicious things. Oh, that's not metal? Oh, I guess it must be wood then. Oh, there's a thing that I was looking at before that was like a circle. Something round buried in the ground here. Don't touch that, pal! Huh? What is it? It's a trap! People set them out to catch us detectives. They're real nasty. A trap for detectives. You mean like those fierce traps with sharp teeth that are supposed to snag your leg? Yeah, those! I got my finger caught in one of those once. Your finger? There's a bit of cheese, and it looks so tasty. I reached out, and then, BAM! I'm not sure I know how to respond to a story as stupidly pitiful as that. I guess we'll never know what it is. What is happening here? Hey, I found a dollar coin. Huh? Money? If you find money, you have to turn it into the police. Or a detective. If the owner doesn't come forward within 6 months, you get to keep 10%. The other 90% goes to... to the police department. Don't get so close to me, detective. Give me some space, will you? Here's the coin. Happy? I definitely made the right decision becoming a detective. Yikes, talk about a serious case of denial. This looks like a wallet? Aha! That's where it's been. Is it yours, detective? I'm always dropping it, so I put a bell on it. But you still dropped it anyway. Yeah, but now I found it again, pal. Your wallet is completely empty. Well, I drop it all the time, so I don't put money in it anymore. I mean, that's fair. And how come the metal detector picked it up? It's the bell. Yeah. That's odd. This sled's made of plastic. It says bikini number 1 on the side. Maybe there's something under it? Hey, what's this? A badge? Aha! I've been hunting high and low for that. It's yours, detective? Nothing's priceless to a guy like me. A cop can't be a cop without his badge. I'm sure glad I put that dime in there now. How did you manage to drop your badge here, of all places? I know. I bet it happened this morning. I was playing around with a sled and... Stop right there. I don't need to hear anymore. Alright, let's get everything that makes no sound now. That branched sword next to the golden statue was the real murder weapon, pal. Yeah, I know. I just thought I'd check it out again anyway. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Do you know about that sword? It's supposed to represent the multiple branches that life can take. All ending as one. Yes, I heard something about that. You know what I think about sometimes? What kind of life I'd be leading if I'd not joined the homicide division. You think about that kind of stuff, detective? Of course I do. Think about it a lot. Me as a traffic cop, me as a detention officer, me as the Blue Badger. There's something to be said about the humor value of Gumshoe as the Blue Badger. I think we said something about it being, specifically all police stuff. Where did we see here? It was really going here-ish? It was going at the skis. We can look at the skis. It's just a pair of skis. Nothing useful for our case. I'm actually pretty good on skis, you know? I just love to fly down the slopes with my coat fluttering in the wind. Really? I had no idea. How good are you then? Well, I'm better on skis than I am on skates, but not as good as when I'm on a snowboard. It's a pretty detailed answer. Oh, but you know what I'm best at. Making mashed potatoes and gravy. The guy's losing it. Must be the altitude. We better get back to the investigation. Okay, I got the sled. Wait. Okay, I wasn't sure if it was like it shouldn't mark anymore because he found his badge and he took it. Okay, we'll keep going. There's nothing here. This must be an old panhandle or something. How do you know that? What? That was my nickname in junior high. Panhandle? I didn't have much money back then, pal. I used to bum stuff off the other kids sometimes, so they called me Panhandler. Panhandler, huh? I can see that. Thinking back, it's actually kind of a nice memory now. Man, Gumshoe just never really had much to his name, did he? What's this? A pen? Hey, I've been looking all over that, pal. Oh my goodness, Gumshoe. So, why aren't you at the inner temple with this metal detector? Wouldn't there be the murder weapon there? My old man gave it to me when I was qualified as a detective. Told me it'd be good for sticking into suspects' faces. That makes you detectives sound really nasty. It's my dream to stick it in your face one day, right? Then don't go losing it. This is Miss Donham's staff, isn't it? Scientifically speaking, they're usually made of wood. But the detector is reacting to it. Yeah, but however you look at it, the thing's made of wood. Alright? I don't bother investigating anything unless it looks like it might be metallic. Isn't the whole point of a metal detector to find metal where you can't see it? It's weird that this thing is causing a racket. Here, let me take a look at it. Hey, hands off! Examining evidence is a job for the... the top is coming off. Look what you've done! You've damaged a really important piece of evidence! That's a sword. Inside the staff. Is this... could it be... the murder weapon? Ladies and gentlemen, I'd never have guessed there'd be a sword concealed in the victim's staff. I did not remember that that's where it was. I remembered the sled being something. Like, I kept examining the sled because I thought I remembered the sled being important. But man, I did not remember that the staff was a sword. Wow, I can't believe I forgot about that. They call this kind of thing a sword cane, pal. This one's a real gem. The workmanship is really something else. Thank goodness it wasn't a cane sword, or else the victim would have stabbed her own foot. I officially give up on trying to figure out how Gumshoe's mind works. If the real scene of the crime was near a temple garden, then why was the sword used to kill the victim found in the main hall courtyard? Hey, Gumshoe. Who knows about the hidden sword? No one. Even the police didn't know about this until I discovered it just now. Well, as they say, there's no team in Gumshoe. It doesn't look like there are any traces of blood on it. And I guess this isn't the murder weapon, huh? No. I'm sure someone just wiped it off after the murder. Yeah, of course. This thing's definitely the murder weapon. Great job, pal. It's about the same length as the the branched sword, too. This must be the murder weapon. Okay, I'm gonna run over the forensics. There's gotta be some traces of blood left, even if most of it had been wiped off. See you later, pal. Every case is gonna be airtight. Every case is gonna be airtight. Wait up, detective! What is it, pal? I'm a pretty busy guy right now, you know. You're going to get that staff analyzed, right? Would you mind holding off for just a while? Huh? What are you talking about, pal? Please. Just until we find Maya. Maya? What's this got to do with her? I don't know, but I'm starting to get really bad feeling in the pit of my stomach. How so? Look, Maya's trapped inside the sacred cavern right now, and, well, we don't even know if she's okay or not. The more evidence and testimony I hear, the more uneasy I feel. You don't think? Please, detective, let's just wait until we can get inside the sacred cavern. If you didn't catch that, Gumshoe was about to say Maya's been murdered. So, he was interrupted very quickly. You're looking kind of Viridian there. Okay, just stop it with that face, pal. One thing, though. The staff's secret trick. Let's keep it between you and me, alright? If it gets out that we knew about it and didn't say anything, we're finished. I understand. It's just a regular, run-of-the-mill staff, you got it? Okay, now you take good care of it, pal. This is gonna come up later, probably in court. Usually whenever I know things that nobody else knows. It's important. Thank you, detective. Don't worry. She'll be fine. Gumshoe? You know, there's a place at the base of the mountain that has some really good pasta. How about I take you there when you find Maya? Huh, pal? Sure, thanks. Can't help but wonder, though. What was Elise Stoneham doing with a staff like this in the first place? Self-defense. No one knows it has a sword beside. Okay. Alright. I believe that that's that. And I believe, also, that we can go unlock some locks. What do you guys think? I think the game agrees. I was expecting Larry and Pearls to be here. I guess they must have gone to collect firewood. Suppose I'll have to check back later. The game does not agree. So, what am I doing here? No. What? What am I missing? Was I supposed to talk to Gumshoe about something else? Running in circles again. Okay. Yeah, no, I don't think I can. Oh boy, okay. Gumshoe doesn't care about that. Still can't believe it, pal. I never have guessed there was a sword in that thing. Sure, there isn't any blood left on it, but there's a good chance this is the murder weapon, pal. This is Miss Donim's staff, right? That would mean she was killed with her own weapon. I guess so. And there's something else that's bothering me, too. What's that, pal? Miss Donim was an author and an illustrator, right? So what's she doing carrying a sword around with her? That's a good question. There's gotta be a good answer to it, I guess. Good luck finding it, pal. I'm beginning to see why he receives the salary he does. This talks about the master and stuff. Are you gonna say something about it? No, 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 no. Shoot. What am I missing here? Because there's nothing else to talk about, right? Yes, but I have 3 there. And then I've got 4 there. No one's here. I can't go outside of this area. No one's here. No one's at Heavenly Hall. Unless someone's hiding in that giant jar. I don't know. Oh, no, he's talking about graffiti. It's good likenesses. Art kind of suits him. I mean, his very existence is an art of sorts. Okay, yeah, no, it's not. You're not helpful. Okay, fine. Moving right along. Now that I know what was burned? Nope. Hi, Iris. The night of the crime, what she was doing the night of the crime, what she was doing the night of the crime. I don't have any evidence for that. Do I? No, but I could talk to her about her sister. Let's do that. Ow! I have important information to ask about. What about her mother? Yes, the locks are important, I agree. But there's certain mysteries that have to be attended to. Fine. I suppose you've noticed that Maya's name is written in this lantern. It's pretty hard to miss, you know. It's written in Miss Donum's blood. She's probably forced up against the lantern by the killer. Then with her back against the lantern, she wrote that name with her finger. That's why it's written upside down. Think the victim wrote this herself? Isn't that the obvious conclusion? But why would she write Maya's name? I don't think that's something I want to discuss with you. Cool. Okay, the only person that I have 3 for is Iris. I think, whoops, that's not where I wanted to go. I wanted to go here. I think that means I need to present... How about this? Can you talk to me about this? Okay, Franziska. Chill with the whip. The game is telling me that this is the only way forward. Unless I'm totally missing something. But I don't think I have any information about this. I think it's time you told the truth about what you were doing on that night. You said you were in your room at Hazakura Temple the entire time. Do you still claim that to be the truth? Yes, that's where I was. Iris, I believe you're innocent. That's why I want to believe what you're telling me, too. But I can't. Because this person saw you somewhere else on the night of the murder. And that person is Bikini. I'm talking about Sister Bikini, of course. Sister Bikini. Her testimony in court today was very clear. That night I was helping an acolyte with her training in the inner temple, but, well, as you can see, my back likes to act up violently. So I left Iris to help the acolyte and returned to Hazakura Temple. Sister Bikini didn't just see you, she spoke with you. You two talked about Maya's training that night. So you see, Iris, you were there at the inner temple on the night of the murder. It's very impressive, Mr. Wright. Now we're getting somewhere. The acolyte's actual training was due to start after 10 o'clock that night. I left the main hall early so I wouldn't be late. What time was that? I guess her testimony is pointless now. That evidence that I have. Let me see. It takes about 20 minutes to walk between the main hall and the inner temple. So I would have left at about 9:40, I think. I'm sorry, Iris, but lying just doesn't suit you. Huh? Now, you say you left the main hall at 9:40, but what you say doesn't add up with this. Larry would have seen her, right? Is that the information that I need? Because Larry was hanging out? Oh no, she rang the lights out bell. But I can't use her own testimony because her testimony is... Okay, your own testimony. You yourself testified to the contrary, don't you remember? You said you rang the lights out bell at 10 o'clock that night? Plus, only moments before you rang that bell, you were seen at the main hall by the most reliable witness I have. Who's that? Me. Mr. Wright. We even spoke a little that evening. That's when you gave me this? Surely you haven't forgotten. No, that's right. I remember. And that brings us to another puzzling fact, Iris. At 10 o'clock on the night of the murder, you were seen in 2 different places at the same time. It's time you told me exactly what's been going on, Iris. So far, I've managed to prove 2 things. First, on the night of the incident, you were at the inner temple. And second, at the exact same time, you were ringing the bell at Hazakura Temple. There's only one possible explanation for this apparent impossibility. On the night of the incident, you were seen in 2 different places at the same time, which means there must have been 2 of you. Can't think of any other explanation, Iris.
But that's crazy. How could that be? There's only one of me. It's impossible.
Impossible? I wonder. The way you're trembling certainly seems to suggest otherwise.
Are you seriously trying to suggest there's more than one of me? Show me the evidence. Show me something that proves there's more than one of me.
Something that proves it? Like, can I show a person? I have a firm grasp on the situation now, Iris. You have a sister, don't you? A twin sister, perhaps? That's right. Dahlia Hawthorne. A woman I know only too well.
I had no idea you knew of her. Very impressive, Mr. Wright. But she's no longer...
Yes, I know. Her sentence was carried out recently, wasn't it? I'm sorry.
Thank you.
There's no need to explain now, is there, Iris? The second you who was here at the temple on the night of the murder? It was your twin sister, Dahlia Hawthorne.
But you just said it yourself a second ago. My sister's dead. Have you forgotten that?
Have you forgotten this, Iris? This is a channeling dojo, a training ground of the Curane channeling technique. That night, someone channeled Dahlia's spirit, and you knew about it. And that's the secret you've been trying to hide from me. So, if you would be so kind as to explain everything. What's going on?
I was in my room in the main hall that night. As soon as I heard that I'd been spotted at the inner temple, I knew it was my sister. Dahlia, the other half of me, who passed away last month.
Just as I suspected. The Iris that Sister Bikini saw at the inner temple on the night of the murder was Dahlia Hawthorne. Why didn't you tell me this before?
Because my sister always does the right thing.
Excuse me?
And because I mustn't get in the way of what she's trying to do. I already betrayed her once before. I can't do it again.
You betrayed her? What do you mean?
That's why I have to accept I may be found guilty. It's the only way.
What is she talking about?
You know about it, don't you, Mr. Wright? About the fake kidnapping that took place here on Eagle Mountain 11 years ago.
Yeah?
That was the start of it all. It twisted her entire destiny. She started to commit crime after crime, and in the end, she lost her life. It's all because I betrayed her.
How did you betray her, Iris?
It's no coincidence that Eagle Mountain is where the exchange took place. Exchange was to take place. After all, I helped plan the whole thing.
What?
But I got scared, so I ran away.
Okay. What are you talking about? Why would you help her? Yeah, I'm curious about this. She seems like such a different person than her sister. Stealing $2 million from your own father, that's awful.
But I promised that I'd help. And she didn't do it for the money.
Huh?
It was revenge on her father.
Revenge. Revenge? What do you mean by revenge?
He was a hideous man. He threw our mother away. And then
sent her to a terrible, terrible place. Her mother She must be talking about Morgan Fay.
Her mother was the eldest daughter of the main branch of the Fay family. The main family had a lot of influence in many business and political circles at the time. As the eldest daughter, our mother was set to inherit all of that as the next master. That's the reason our father married our mother in the first place, for power.
Okay, yeah, that's not great.
But his plan backfired. Because her mother's sister took it all from her. She took over as the Master of Curain.
That would be Misty Fay, Maya's mother.
But before long, the credibility of the Curain tradition hit rock bottom. The new master, Mystic Misty Fay, made a terrible mistake.
Yep, we all know about that.
It was during the investigation of the DL6 incident. After that happened, our father took me and my twin sister away, leaving our mother and our home behind. He hated the place. He said it was a hick dive and that he had no reason to stay there.
And that's when you came here to Hazakura Temple.
Yes. The woman my father took as his next wife already had a daughter, Valerie. I had no place in his new family, you see.
Oh.
I haven't seen my mother once since then. Having the master's seat stolen from her and being rejected by her own family, I've heard she's been very battered spiritually and emotionally.
I think I'm finally beginning to see how the pieces fit together. I've asked her everything I can in my capacity as a prosecutor. This incident, everything related to it, goes back to the history of the Fey clan. That's what it looks like. Iris, there's just one more thing I want you to tell me.
What is it?
During the incident in which your sister Dahlia Hawthorne poisoned a lawyer, she began a relationship with a certain college student in order to hide the evidence. That college student. Have you heard anything about him?
Well, I did hear one thing. She said she hated his guts.
I see. Thank you for your help. Oh, man. I mean, Dahlia is a terrible, terrible person, but, oh, man. You really feel for Nick in this case. He is going through a lot here.
You're welcome.
Hurry up, Phoenix Wright. There's still much to investigate.
Leave these locks to me. I'll open them for you, I promise.
Thank you. I suppose I better continue my investigation. There's still one giant secret left to unlock. Pearls' Psyche Lock. To Heavenly Hall! So that was the game telling me, hey, unlock this one first. Look at that, they really did make a fire right in front of the shack. Oh, Mr. Nick. Ah, you're too late, Nick. If you came here for one of our potatoes, we've already polished them all off. I think I've pretty much got all the evidence I need. Now I just need to find out what Pearls is hiding. Here we go. Last Psyche Lock of the day. Probably will close out our investigation. After dinner on the night of the murder, you were supposed to be in Lee Stonem's room reading a book together, correct? Yes, I was so happy when she invited me. But I didn't go in the end. You didn't go? No, there was somewhere else I had to go instead. I was so worried I had to go. I didn't know what to do with it myself. I was so nervous. So Pearls never went to Miss Stonem's room because she was too worried about something or someone else. Pearls. On the night of the murder, you went to this place, didn't you? This is where you went because you were so worried, right? Sorry, I thought for a second there that I was losing. Oh no, because the music stopped. That means I'm good. She's not opening up to me. Then the next question is, who or what were you so worried about? Now I'm going to take a guess, and you can tell me if I'm right or wrong, okay? You mean you know? If I'm right, will you tell me the whole truth? Okay. You went to this place for the very simple reason, and that is this. Maya. It's obvious that you were so worried about pearls. It was Maya, wasn't it? You knew the training Maya was undertaking was dangerous. After all, it was the special course. Wow, this was all the way back in part 1. Feels like so long ago. Poor taste, Sister Bikini. Sister Bikini scared you with what she said, didn't she? And because it was you who introduced Haizukura Temple to Maya in the first place, you felt responsible, didn't you?
Thinking about what could happen to Mystic Maya made me more and more worried. I couldn't sit still at all. That's why I decided to go and find out how she was doing at the Inner Temple.
Then we're clear now that you went to the Inner Temple that night, Pearls. What's not clear is what happened after that. About what time was it when you headed over to the Inner Temple?
It was probably around 9:30 when I left the main hall. I heard the real training was supposed to start at 10. I wanted to get there before it started. But there was so much snow, so I didn't get there until after 10 o'clock.
Till after 10? How did you know what time it was?
Because I heard the bell ringing lights out.
You heard the lights out bell. The Hazakura Temple's bell is pretty small, though, isn't it? You must have really good hearing.
I was really trying to pick up the sound of that bell, that's all. I didn't want to miss it, and that would be terrible.
Just trying to hear the bell. Tell me, Pearls, why were you so worried about hearing that bell?
Huh? Oh, I
think I know why. The reason you're so worried about that bell is because of this. You were given some instructions to follow for that night, weren't you? I presume you recognize these pieces of paper?
Ah! Where did you...
In the incinerator at the Inner Temple. Pearls, you were following the instructions in this letter that night, weren't you? That's why you couldn't afford to miss the sound of the lights out bell?
I'm speechless, Mr. Nick. You're amazing.
Compliments will get you nowhere. These instructions that were found in the incinerator, I believe they were written for you, Pearls.
For me? I know.
As you can see, a large portion has been burnt, but the last section is still barely legible. As soon as you hear the lights out bell, you must channel her spirit. Who was it, Pearls? Whose spirit were you supposed to be channeling? Taking into account the author of the note and their purpose for writing it, whose spirit would Pearls have been trying to channel? Don't overthink it, Phoenix. It's pretty obvious who Pearls was supposed to channel. The person you were trying to channel that night, Pearls. It was Dahlia Hawthorne, wasn't it? That was the name that was in the letter? It's just as I suspected. It was an Iris who Sister Bikini met at the Inner Temple that night. It was Dahlia Hawthorne. Do you know anything about her, Pearls? Do you know what kind of a woman Dahlia Hawthorne was?
No. I've never heard of anyone by that name before reading those instructions.
I thought so. Pearls doesn't have a clue. She doesn't know that Dahlia is her sister. About the instructions in the letter I found, Pearls. Who wrote them? Whoever it was asked you to channel the spirit of someone you'd never heard of. You must have quite a lot of respect for them. After all, you followed their instructions without question. So here's my next question. Who wrote the set of instructions for you to follow? Pearls, I have to wonder about something. You didn't have any idea what these instructions meant, did you? Ba-dump. But you followed them to the letter regardless. Why? Because it was your own mother who asked you, that's why.
How did you...
I figured it out. The person who wrote you this letter was your own mother, Morgan Fay. This poor girl. All right, Pearls, it's time you started telling me the truth.
Mr. Nick,
Why is she holding back from me? I don't like this.
Don't underestimate me just because I'm a child.
Huh?
If you're trying to say I followed these instructions, I'd like to see some proof.
What?
Because I don't think you have any.
To say anything rather than admit to carrying out those instructions. I guess I'll have to produce some more evidence then. One more thing should do it. All right, Pearls. We both know someone carried out these instructions on the night of the murder. But you're right. There's no evidence that proves it was you.
I knew it.
However, I do know that whoever did it was a child.
Huh? How do you know that?
It couldn't have been an adult. No adult would have made a simple mistake like that.
A simple mistake? What do you mean by that?
I'm sure you thought you were carefully following the instructions you'd been given, but you misunderstood some of the words, and this is the evidence that proves it. I'll go through for you guys, because I know what it is. But I'll just kind of go through each of the evidence again, because I should have done that. So we'll just go through a little bit. Skim on through. Should I go from... It was you who splattered gravy on this hanging scroll, wasn't it?
Ah! What? Why would I do something like...
Do you remember what was written in that letter? Gravely roast the master in the fires of Hades and bring our vengeance to fruition. But you didn't know how to read the words gravely and roast, among others, right? If you remember from the very first part of this, she had Elise Donim read those for her.
How do you know that?
Remember the conversation you had with Miss Donim? There it is, on the night of the murder. Perhaps we can read some books together.
Really? I'd love to. I'm not very good at reading.
Well then, would you like to practice reading with me? I think I had like a soft voice like that for her, sure.
So, for example, how do you read this?
It says gravely. That's kind of a tough word. And then roast. And then Elise was like, what is this book? Or no, it wasn't even Elise. It was me. I was like, what is she reading? Nick said something about it, I'm pretty sure. Sure, Miss Donim taught you how to read gravely and roast, but what she didn't teach you is what they meant. Gravely sounded like gravy to me. Oh,
Gravely sounded like gravy to me, and the only roast I could think of was the food.
And that's why you did it. That's why you covered the picture of the master in gravy from that night's pot roast.
To be honest, I did think it was a bit strange. I guess I really did get the wrong idea.
Just a tiny bit.
I really am useless. I even managed to burn the letter properly as my mother had asked of me. Such a simple thing, and I couldn't even do it right.
Poor Pearls. This poor sheltered child.
After dinner that night, I did go to the inner temple with a pot full of leftover gravy.
The gravy?
I saw the picture on the hanging scroll near the sacred cavern. I was sure it was the Master of Kurain like it said in the letter.
I see. And then?
Well, it was already way past 10 when I got there because of all the snow. So I went to the inner temple guest area.
The guest area?
Yes, I thought I could wait there until the training was over.
Why didn't you just go to the training hall?
because Mystic Maya's main training had already started and I couldn't interrupt it. So I just stayed where I was and prayed for her to get through it. But then Pearls, did you fall asleep? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I just couldn't help it.
Hey, don't worry about it, Pearl. Who cares if you fell asleep? I fell asleep waiting for Iris, too. It happens. Anyway, then you found yourself trapped at the Inner Temple.
Yes, when I woke up it was morning. I tried not to cry, but Dusky Bridge wasn't there anymore, and there was no one in the training hall. I thought everyone had left me because I overslept. I threw the letter into the incinerator, and then I heated up the leftover gravy and
let off some steam by chucking the gravy on the scroll while you cried. Must have been pretty scary for you, Pearl. I know what it's like. Nick used to leave me behind when I fell asleep at school, too. Don't equate something so trivial with her experience, Larry.
It was written right in my mother's letter. It said, as soon as you hear the lights out bell, you must channel her spirit. I was on my way over to the Inner Temple when I heard the bell ring.
So you've channeled Dahlia Hawthorne's spirit?
No. I tried, but I couldn't do it.
You couldn't do it?
I never failed at channeling someone. This is the first time it's happened. I tried, and I tried, and I tried. Yesterday, this morning, the whole time. But I just couldn't do it.
Don't let it get you down, Pearl. It'll all work out. If you want, I'll come flying through the sky for you. Whoosh, just like that. So she never managed to channel the spirit. Is that why you think your spiritual powers are gone?
Yes, I don't know what to do.
Isn't there any other explanation for why you can channel a spirit?
I suppose there's one other possibility. It's not very likely, though.
Could you please tell me what that is, anyway?
It could happen if someone else was already channeling the same spirit.
Someone else? What do you mean?
Well, there's only one of each spirit, right?
Yeah, but it's like dating a girl, Nick. You can't see a hot chick if she's already taken. Thank you, Larry. I don't think this has anything to do with anything. Then that would mean on the night of the murder, someone else channeled her spirit before Pearls could. Someone else channeled the spirit of Dahlia Hawthorne.
I'm a failure. I couldn't even grant my mother's final wish.
Her final wish?
Yeah, this letter. This is my last wish, she said. So make sure you follow the instructions carefully.
This letter. I definitely need to find out more about it.
My mother has gone to a place called a penitentiary.
Yeah, I know, Pearls.
I visit her every month. And last month she told me...
Oh, what did I use for her voice? The time we've been waiting for has come, Pearl. There's something I need you to do for me. I hid a letter for you at our home before they brought me here. I want you to read it and do exactly what it says. It is for the good of the Fae clan, my angel. You'll be doing a great thing. Now listen carefully, and I'll tell you where the letter's hidden.
My mother is always nice to me. I love her very much.
Yeah, moms will do anything for their kids, right?
She said it was for the good of the Fae clan, so I knew I had to help her. I mean, Mystic Maya's part of the Fae clan, so it had to be good for her, too. That's right, isn't it, Mr. Nick?
Sure, yeah, I guess so, yeah.
There's a picture with her letter, too.
A picture?
Of Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. Usually a picture is enough to channel someone's spirit, but this time...
Pretty weird, huh? Like Larry knows anything about this stuff.
There's something else that was strange about my mother's letter. The seal on it was broken, as if someone had already opened it once before.
That sure is pretty strange. Someone had opened it already. Thanks, Pearls. You really helped me out.
You're very welcome. My mother is watching over us, so I'm sure Mystic Maya will be alright.
Look at that innocent smile on her face. What am I supposed to say to her? Oh, of course. Ha! Finally figured it out, have you, Trite? You finally realized how terrible of a crime being painfully oblivious is. Godot? The entrance to the sacred cavern looks like a freaking puzzle workshop. I guess he's talking about Iris and the lock-breaking effort. But it's all a waste of time. Why do you say that? Because Maya Fey isn't coming back. What? You don't know what you're talking about. How can you say something like that? It was your job to protect her, Trite. Just like it was your job to protect Mia Fey. Two sisters caught up in the worst circumstances. I realized that, but... And you were the only one who was by their sides. You were the only one who could have saved them. But I didn't know anything about what was going on. What did I just say, Trite? Being oblivious is a heinous crime in itself. Tomorrow, we'll settle everything in court tomorrow. Once and for all.
Mr. Nick, is what that man just said true?
It'll be alright, Pearls. I'm sure Maya's alive. You'll see for yourself tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right. I know I can trust you, Mr. Nick.
Yeah, somehow that's not comforting, considering she also knows she can trust her mother. Speaking of, my dear Pearl, you've done so well, my child, my Pearl. It's better that you don't know. I knew this day would come for you. The blood of the main family is no more. Now you are to take the place at the head of the Fey clan. My last great wish. It seems I was just in time. So I guess we're gonna settle everything in court tomorrow. That's a lot. Yeah, culmination of all the things coming back to haunt us. Literally. Well, anyway. Yeah. I don't have much to say. This was a longer episode, so, stay tuned, and I will talk to you guys next time.